Hello everybody, it's Alex from TC Discussions coming at you with a second place deck profile. I have the leader hidden under here because I don't want you to see it till I reveal it, and this is the spiciest deck that I've come to the channel with in probably 6 to 8 months. I haven't been making content on the channel because I've been trying to reveal my decks selectively at the correct time. Dark Brawly is coming, don't worry about it. I'm planning on bringing it next week after I tried at locals, but I got second place at last night with this. I only lost because time rules suck, and I took a life and then they called time, that's just how it rolls. But this deck is, I think, going to be a strong contender for yellow in the meta, and it is a leader that nobody is going to see coming. And without further ado, let's just get into it. Enough of the secrecy and hiding. What on earth could he possibly be playing? And the leader that we chose to pilot was OG Mecha Frieza. That is right, OG Mecha Frieza. The first thing that I need to state is that this is a very, very powerful leader. Very, very powerful leader. I can't express that enough. I think that it's got a ton of amazing plays going for it, this format. And I'll talk about matchups and how it plays as we get into the profile. So it's going to be a long one, stick around. So for those of you who don't know, though, this leader has been errated. This can now only activate its permanent to pay for an extra card only during your opponent's turn only, which don't worry, we have cards for that, and I'll talk about the synergy of those cards when we get there. But you can activate a extra card for free if it is a 1 cost on this side, right? So it's pretty good. But you can only do that once per turn, so only once during your opponent's turn, right? And then draw 2 to awaken. This side, swing, draw a card, and same thing, but unlimited number of times per turn. And reduce it by 2. And if the extra card was reduced to less than 1, you may activate the card without paying a specified cost. So let's get into it. I purposely put the Champa on the top of the deck to hide what we're playing. Universe 9 Assemble. That is right, we are playing this card again. And with the Universe 9 Assemble, of course, we are playing our Chapil. We are playing our Bergamo, our Basil, 2 Cirilla and Hop. And last but not least, it wouldn't be Universe 9 without talking about Bergamo. So what on earth is happening here? But many people are like, oh God, please not again. Don't let it come back. This can't be real. This isn't a real deck. It is a real deck. And not this again. Yes, this again. Again, as Ash says in Apex Legends, right? So Unite Assemble. If you don't remember what this card does, draw 2. Okay, and if your opponent's energy is in rest mode, you can play your U9 for free. Basil Fatal Rampage will draw, basically draw 3 pay Basil, or you can play out Chapil. If your opponent attacks, they have to rest in energy. This card, Cirilla and Hop, what it is it's a blocker. When you block, your opponent can either rest in energy, or is it energy or card? I can't remember. I believe it is choose one of the cards, switch to rest mode, and then if not, you can draw a card. So she kind of like forces, but she gets the block and forcing to rest a card, which is pretty good. And then, of course, Bergamo's Bergamo. We're triggering rest effects all the time, so therefore he's going to be able to be played at some point. Now, here is the kicker, right? This is busted. Here's why it's good. If you go first and they commit to a turn 1 play, this card's live. You're going to draw lots of cards. The only other thing that has been difficult is that you haven't been able to self-awaken very much, which is what this card solves, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Z deck. And then, yeah, you will awaken at some point with the extra cards that you play, especially on your front side. And then you get to start drawing, and you draw 2 to awaken, which is always nice for replenishing that hand. Also, Cirilla and Hop ignores energy exhaust when you have a Universe 9 in place. So if you have a Basil on board already from a U9 play or from a previous play, this card will be able to charge itself straight into your energy, which comes up for cards that we play later. And we're going to move on. So I know people are going to ask, given the fact that we're in Zenkai meta, how does it fare against Gogeta? And our answer to that is this card, this package right here. So last night I actually round one played against Gogeta and beat it. And it's because I put this card on board immediately. Now, here's the thing. I didn't realize before when I read the card that the Union Fusion EX Evolve has draw a part of it. I'm sorry, the Union Fusion has draw one, which just works like Trunks Gogeta, which means they cannot play the 8-drop, okay? And we have plenty of cards in our side to help mitigate that matchup either way, but this being in the main deck already is just already bonkers against Gogeta. So, yeah. I think that this package right here is absolutely essential to the deck. And trust me when I say that this deck can start to put card after card after card, turn after turn after turn on the board that is just completely oppressive to your opponent. So, Slug, if you don't know what he is, cantrip, draw a card, activate main to play this from your hand. This card is an activate main for yellow. Play this from your deck. While this card is in rest mode, bond 2. Permanent, your opponent cannot add cards from their deck to their hand off skills outside of their leader effect, which means they cannot play the 8-drop against you. So you have 4 turns or 3 turns to get this card established. If you do, you've pretty much won the game against Gogeta, because trust me when I say they are never killing this card. They basically have to ignoring barrier, pop it with an extra card effect, period. Like, that's it. Battle cards, nope. Like, it don't work. There's lots of things that, like, it just don't work. Next, Absolute Annihilation. We set this next to Slug and say, good game, shake my hand. This is such a powerful card, right? It is just so good. If they play Cease to Exist to get rid of both of these cards, they have tapped 4 energy. You just tapped out, dude. Congratulations. Universe Night Assemble, go in. If you resolve more than 1 U9 in a game, you've won the game. And this card forces them now to pay extra for their extra cards to get rid of cards. You have lots of barrier cards, and with the addition of the Zenkai cards, we get even better. Moving on, for Robotic Riposte, we are an extra card deck, so this is obviously the key choice. This card is so good at just, 1, helping you secure that their energy gets rested and putting them in a really tough spot. Also, they look very similar. I like this art version with this deck a lot. It's really good. Riposte is Riposte. Next to the MVP, your turn 0 card, okay, Giant Ball. Your opponent goes to play a battle card on their first turn. You Giant Ball, put it in rest mode, take a life, and draw a card, and you haven't even done anything. So you just raw +2, got closer to Awakening, put that card in rest mode, which is good because your leader does not draw on this side, but it gives you an ability to swing at a target, which is really high synergy. The next card that has an absurd amount of synergy with this deck is Realm of the Gods, Black Kamehameha. For those of you who do not know what this card is, I'll explain it. It is a 1-drop extra card, which will be reduced to 0 on this side, okay? During your opponent's turn, you can choose 2 of their cards, switch in the rest mode, draw a card, and a card gets 10k for the battle. And on your turn, it gets 10k for the battle, and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards in rest mode and KO it, which is good for spot removal, and then obviously good at deterring pressure while defending yourself and drawing a card. This is one of the huge protectors of Slug, because if they have multiple targets that can swing at it, they go to swing at it with 1, you protect it for an attack, tap 2, and draw a card, and take a life. So you +1, as well as take care of 2 targets that can get at it. Next, for extra cards, we have Frieza Army Reinforcements. This card is absolutely bonkers in this deck. It's just a really great negate. It again helps you protect Slug, helps you protect your leader. Is an early extra card that you can charge if you're still at high life, which helps turn on your riposte and whatever. The thing about this deck is you can play this game at your own pace whenever you want to, so it's super duper good in that regard. Next, we have Swift Retaliation Cooler, 3 of them. You got to play at least 3 of it in the deck. Number 1 for its combo potential, number 2 for the sheer number of copies, and number 3, the number of times this may or may not come up in a game. Your opponent may try to negate with something very powerful, or they may try to counter you, and you just say absolutely not. And there's a vast number of times, like last night in the final round, I was playing against SS4. He activated the counterattack of Vermilion Saiyans, and I just Swift Retaliation coolered it. So like Violent Rays, same thing, right? They go to like stop you from swinging with Slug if you swung with something else first, which you always swing with Slug first either way, but like that's not the point. The point is that like, you know, Swift Retaliation Cooler is just really powerful, and since they haven't touched on the ban list, we're going to play it. Next to the broken card, Sinzabine. So this leader is not reduced to reducing a card on your opponent's turn by the effect of mono yellow or yellow cards. So you can take a life during your opponent's turn to Bean for free, which means, let's say you have like 2 energy tap because you paid for U9 on your turn. That means you can then Bean on your opponent's turn, give your leader 5, take a life, and untap 2 of your energy, which is absolutely absurd. You just get maximum value out of that. So yeah, just really insane. And then the shotgun numbers with Bean, blue, yellow, I don't even need to talk about it. Feels like the good old Kid Icarus days. Next, we have a plethora of one-ofs. One Poutine, she's going to be our floor general, right? She's just going to come down when we've rested a card or a card's been switched to rest mode via one of our skills. So if they tap something we're like Robotic Repulse, she just comes down. Bergamo comes down. Black Kamehameha comes down. So it's going to be good. And then she gets to give that bond effect to your Slug, which just makes it degenerate and impossible. It feels really bad. Power of the Super Saiyan. Really, really strong. Again, a trigger for Poutine. Stops an aggressor against Slug, as well as just really hammers in the draw. It's an extra card, the whole 9 yards. It's really good. Because we're a Frieza deck, we get to play this, so we're gonna. Cold Bloodlust. This is a card that can be played for free from your hand. I have played this to stop very, very powerful early game initiate effects. I have done this against boss monsters. It is really, really strong. I've tested this, I think probably now for this deck, in a total of roughly 18 hours, okay? And the first night, I fine-tuned it for 6. And when we initially, me and my friend Jacob landed on this list, shout out to you if you're watching this video, Jacob. When we initially landed on this list, there were some few cards we were going to add from Zenkai, which make the deck a lot better. But basically, I was crushing with this deck before Zenkai cards, and now I'm crushing way harder than I ever have been. So there's that. And then we got our 1 Trunks for a one-of. This card could probably go to 2. Really like it. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, it's just a value card, right? If they have, for example, they play if blue plays the 1-drop Kai, this card instantly outs that Kai, which is really nice. It's obviously got a mass board white draw a card, and it's a 20k dual attack unison. What more value, sorry for bumping the camera, could you want? The last 2 cards for the one-ofs, Champa and this Vegeta. SS4 Vegeta is played here for the removal. This card can hit blockers, which is important, whereas other cards that may be free or similar effect cannot. But it's also a 30k critical. While you will have to pay an energy for this, you do have Bean in your deck, so this overwhelm can be kind of free, as well as a 35k critical against your opponent, and board wipe 2 tokens, and other cards that are annoying. And that's mainly what we did. We wanted some board control for cards that are low to the ground, and then obviously Furthering Destruction Champa for the double strike, obviously Shotgun to the Heavens. Speaking of Shotgun to the Heavens, this is what we play for our super combo lineup. And this is absolutely insane with this deck. I wish this card would have been around back when Mecha Frieza was like first played, like the reboot was played, because oh God have mercy on your soul. This card is amazing. I've had my opponents shotgun up to 45,000 against Slug, and they've tapped like 5 cards, and I just combo this 1 card, come in, rest a card, draw a card, and now I have a whole bunch of pressure. Also, the bond is even more secure now. It basically is the same thing as a Krillin because it draws you 2 cards, right? It draws on play and it's going to draw on its first swing. Every time this card lives for a turn, it's generating you another card, which is what we want to see. And Krillin's just the best. We are going to get to 4 life down. There's nothing they can do to stop us. So really, really strong. Moving on, we're going to slide this right here. We have some Z cards to play. So to start off, we have 2 SSB Vegeta 1-drops. This card is really important in the deck because your opponent may try and stifle you from awakening, and we're going to straight up say, nah, how about not? I'd rather like to play the game, sir, so no, you just stop doing that. And then you can take a life, of course, then bottom deck a card, draw a card, and then, yeah, so it's just going to be really, really good. This card is absolutely insane. If you set this next to Slug and the other card and your Poutine, and your opponent is going to cry. Like literally, as the turns go on with this deck, the more barrier cards with like deflect that are just annoying that you can play just get way, way out of hand, like really quickly. So this card, it's a new Zenkai card. If you don't know what it does, you'll pay it for 2 Z energy, and then 3 yellow. Try to get my camera to focus here. Maybe, there we go. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's leader, unisons, or battle cards in rest mode, and it cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. So you can basically like send pseudo-lock your opponent's leader if they've attacked. If this card is in rest mode, when your opponent plays a card, you may place one of your Z energy in its owner's drop area. If you do, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in unisons, switch in rest mode, and negate this skill for the turn. So if you have a Z energy, you can basically sack that Z energy and then flood, like basically rest a unison or a battle card that would be really annoying. Mainly one that would go after Slug or something else, while being a 25k pressure piece that has barrier, so it is not easy to get rid of. And then our last Z card that we play is this Gohan here. So what he does is he has deflect dual attack. You can reduce the EX evolve of Gohan superhero cards in your hand by 2, which is irrelevant because we don't EX evolve in this deck. But if your leader card is yellow Piccolo superhero card, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's spot cards and switch to rest mode, which it's not. But why would we play this if it's not? It's simply for a deflect dual attack 15k that we can play out for 2 energy. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Z deck. Now let me talk about the side deck because it's going to be really important because we're in Zenkai format. So blue's annoying. We have this. We have this card right here. Just because I don't want to die to Turning the Tide. Yeah, pretty much. For hand destruction, we have Dabura. Never get caught without Dabura on your side because that's the one day you run into a hand destruction player and you absolutely cry. Release from Evil, it's completely broken no matter what way you slice it. Yeah, it's just really good. It's a really, really strong card. You can also play this card for free. You don't need a unison. So being able to take your life and then just straight up say no to one of your opponent's cards is really good. If you're worried about Gogeta, this card is the card that will break them in half and just say that they're not playing the game, period. And the thing is, in like the Gogeta matchup, it just really feels like if you have Vegeta, Unison of Fury, and Slug on board, they've lost. Slug literally just stops their whole deck. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, it's literally saying draw, cease to exist, or lose. And as for anything else, like anything that they would want to play that could like swing at the thing at it anyway, you can just giant ball it, or you can do something else to it. You can rest the other cards. Their unison is just pointless. Like it just, like, you play Slug and then like watch their unison just do nothing for them, right? Like, it just doesn't do anything. You play a 1-drop from your hand. If it's not like Brawly Crown, that's it, right? None of your pan's not generating you a card draw. It may boost your leader 5, but it doesn't matter. Your GT card isn't doing anything. You're not drawing when you combo with the rest. All the other Vegetas and Gokus that play that draw a card on play don't work. Like, when I say Slug shuts the entire deck down, I mean it shuts the entire deck down. And then Vegeta Unity and Fury on top of it is just like, de la Resistance. It's just like the next level. And then the last card that we have is 3 Tyrannical Blow. I had this at 4 in the side, but bottom line is this card exists to stop floodgates. Your opponent's going to try to, if you know you're going to go like against yellow or something and you're going to flood them a bunch, go against a bunch of floods, you're going to go against like Topo or, you know, just another matchup where like, you know, you're going to need this card. It's a card that you're going to be able to activate for free. On your turn, you're going to be able to pay for it, negate their unison effect. You play against blue, they try to play like Gohan or something, you're going to negate Bunison and the Gohan both at the same time. Bunison just dies to this deck either way because basically you get like so many free swings into it that like it's nuts. Like for example, you have this Goku, you have the Absolute Annihilation, you have Slug, you have your Unison, you have your Vegeta Unison, you have your Leader Swing, and that thing will just be like dead instantly. And it's okay, right, that you don't attack their leader right away, unless you know that like they're going for some degenerate strategy. But like you can just basically clear the Bunison like right away. And as for like leader effects and everything else, like you play against SS3 and you bring this card in, they've lost. You play against like so many other, it's just crazy how good this deck actually is, guys. I can't express it enough. You know, Universe Knight Assemble being free on your opponent's turn is pretty good. Yeah, it's all pretty good. So there's just a lot that you can do, and my God, welcome back, Mecha Frieza. I'm so excited for this because I'll tell you what the weakness of this deck was before. The weakness of this deck before was that like you could not self-awaken. So basically, even if you had extra cards to self-awaken you without like another self-awaken piece on your turn, you were essentially like playing a very slow game. And against certain strategies, that just doesn't work. This card changes everything though. This is a consistency piece. It is filter. You're going to draw and take life. You're going to get awakened faster. And this card solo changes the game for you. And yeah, there should be another card. You could put like another Vegeta Unison of Fury, another Release from Evil, another tech of any kind that you really want. This is just a fairly standard like yellow side, if you will. Maybe like a Gohan that's like a free play, like 2 of it and 2 Deborah, so like you're not having to like tap so much energy. That could be like a nice little split that you do. But yeah, I really love this deck. I've been working on it for literally like the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I just took it to locals for the first time last night. And I like, the only reason why I'm even bringing this right now to you guys is because I crushed SS4. Like, I didn't just beat it, I crushed it. Like, that deck did not function at all. Like, it's so good. This deck is so good. And that was, like, one of my concerns. So I was, like, thinking to myself, like, oh, my God, like, what? Like, outside, like the Unison of Fury, like, what do I do? And then I read Slug, and then I read the card, and I was just like, oh no. Like, I didn't read, even though I got a whole case of the set, I didn't read Triumphant Together, like, enough. So, bear in mind, if you play SS4 Gogeta, right, bear in mind, if you play against Yellow and they play a Slug package, your entire day is about to be sad. Like, cease to exist. If you don't have them already, buy, like, 3 now. Or 4. Buy your playset. Like, I'm warning you. If you don't have it, you will lose to this. And here's the thing. Here's what you need to watch out for. Black Boo, same thing, right? Black Boo, even though that deck is not good technically, even though it's like one of the strongest aggressive decks in the game, even though it's not good, right? It will run your opponent over. And play a slug-like effect, right? The 6-drop Boo basically stops the deck from working. And they can get into it by their second turn easy. And then to top it off, if that weren't bad enough, then there's Slug. There's Vegeta, Unison of Fury. And then the fact that like Trunks Vegeta can play Barrier Trunks next to Slug is just absolutely crushing, right? Like it's so bad. It's bad. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but you can like bait out the like, Trunks effect and Poutine effect with, the Gogeta unison and whatever. Except if Slug's on the board, you're doing that for no value. So, fine. Right? So, yellow, if you, like honestly, yellow is going to be the matchup against that top deck, and it may gatekeep it from the game. Like it literally just might gatekeep it from the game. And it's that serious, guys. Like I can't express it enough. Like even your like 20k guys that you would like want to play in active mode to attack it, that you're tapping your energy for, giant ball for free. Switch your rest mode, take 2 cards, draw a card. Continue, swing, negate with riposte, play another card, swing, rest something else. Okay, combo. And by the way, that's like 5 cards in rest mode. My Gohan SCR is going to be live. And you see this card, you're also winning. Like, it's so good. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section down below. I also, just a quick shout out to the Frieza Army tokens. I finally got a playset of this, and I'm so excited because I'm so tired of using a chilled Army token for Frieza Army reinforcements. Thank God. Anyway, that's just my little rant for myself, but this deck is serious, guys. And heed my warning. If you don't realize how strong this deck is, like this literally could be one of the top yellow decks in the game. And I'm like not even joking. Trunks Vegeta, like also, I need to explain something. Before you like even ask what the matchup is, winning. It's winning. Trunks Vegeta taps out multiple times on their first couple turns. Winning. Like it's just, yeah. Before you even ask. And it's like, oh, well, what happens if you like slug in the mirror? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. Like you could get slugged in the mirror and then like have like a whole bunch of your cards like shut down from you. But again, you are also going like maybe like a couple final flashes in here to like turn it off. That might be like the 1 or 2 other cards that you could put in here. But like you also swing at their slug with your slug. You also have like dual attack cards. Like your Basil can be like dual attacked and beamed and then like swing twice at it. So like there's lots of ways for you to like kind of like out their cards. And as for you say, well, they have Vegeta to get rid of it. They can't even play the 3-drop Vegeta without casting it for 3. And it's susceptible to like every counterplay in your deck. So it's like, not to mention Bloodlust exists. Just turn that off and then kill the card like on the next turn or something. So yeah, you just generate lots of value, guys. So let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. Let me know any adjustments you guys would make if you can think of any. Cards that you'd want to add, questions that you have, like about play lines and things like that. I look forward to discussing this deck in the future, trying it more, and flexing in a couple cards into the side and in and outs just to see where I could go. And then I'm probably going to work on this deck for a hot minute. It's really good, guys. This card also breaks the deck. Like being able to like, I shotgunned a Trunks Unison up to like 125,000, and this is like 30 of that, like bonkers. So anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time. This is Alex from TCG Discussions. Holy smokes if I can talk. Signing off. Laters.